So pleased to be talking to our next guest. She's top author and lifestyle guru, Glennon Doyle. We go to her live. She's speaking to us from Naples, not in Italy, but Naples in Florida. And the big thing, Glennon, it's lovely to see you, but the big thing everybody's talking about you is in relation to Adele, the singer, and Adele saying your book, Untamed, changed her life. So let's get it clear right from the start. This is not a diet book.
No, oh my God, no. It's sort of the opposite. No, it's about women finally doing, eating, being exactly who they want to be.
Now, you say women. Now, hold on. You can exclude me from this conversation. Do men have any interest in this at all? Is there any benefit from men? Because men can be suppressed. Men can be prevented from doing what they want to do in life as well.
Eamonn, I am so glad that you said that. Men are absolutely conditioned and tamed. Women are told not to be bossy, not to be loud, not to be leaders. Men are told not to be vulnerable, not to be merciful, not to be... So this book is for everybody that wants to get rid of what the world told them to be so they can be who they were meant to be.
Yeah, Adele has said, I never knew that I am solely responsible for my own joy, happiness and freedom. Our own liberation liberates those around us. Didn't know that. So you're saying that you have to be responsible for yourself and be happy before the people around you can accept you for who you are.
Well, and also, I think we're so afraid to live as we really are, because especially women are told that that's selfish, right? But what we find is the truer we live to ourselves, the more permission we give to those in our family, to our children, to our friends, for them to live as fully as they can. So it's really this beautiful ripple of freedom that that happens when we return to ourselves.
Glennon, you say that, but this ripple of freedom and doing what you want, what it does, I'm trying to search for the right word, it pees off people,
but
basically.
It can affect everyone around you, can't it?
Yeah, because it affects your neighbours, your partner, your parents, your kids. Everybody has an opinion about what you want to do, about what I want to do, about what Ruth wants to do.
Mm-hmm. They sure do, don't they? Especially when we're breaking codependent patterns, right? Where we've all decided in a family or in a community that we're all going to hide ourselves. So at first, things get a little uncomfortable. But what I have found is this. We tend not to tell the truth because we've learned not to rock the boat, and that's a price to pay. But there's a price to pay for not being who we are, right? And that's that we slowly die. So we have to count that cost too, and we have to practice bringing our full selves to our lives and then just allow the chips to fall. And usually the change that happens is change that was supposed to happen that allows everybody to be more free.
I mean, you had a massive change in your life. You were married. You had married to a man, had children, and then you were at a conference, I think addressing a conference, and you fell in love. Tell us that story.
Yes. So I was at a writer's conference, just launching my last memoir that was being touted as an epic marriage redemption story. That was really about recovering from infidelity in my first marriage. And a woman walked into the room, and Ruth and Eamonn, I can't believe that this is part of my story because sometimes it's embarrassing about how cheesy it is, but I looked at her and every fiber of my being said, there she is. And I don't know, a part of me just rose up that had been buried for so long, and I had to decide whether I was going to abandon myself or abandon everyone's expectations of me, because I had to really, disappoint a lot of people in order to avoid disappointing myself.
How do you find the strength to do that? Because there might be people watching this saying, I know I'm not living my true life. I know that there's something in here that I need to let out. But if I do that, what will my parents think? What will the children think of me? Whatever it is, what will my friends think? Will I lose friends? And they're frightened.
Yeah. I mean, I think I found that actually when you start living in integrity, which means that you're matching your outer life with your inner self, right? It just means integrated. Your outer self and your inner self are integrated. When you start to do that, you do lose people here and there. And those are always the right people to lose, right? Yeah. And you attract more people into your life that were never there before. And those are the right people to bring. So yeah, you have to be, I guess I would call it brave enough to let some people go, let new people come. But what you do is you grant freedom to everybody else in your circle to also live free.
if they want that freedom, a lot of people want to be blind to that. I think the word I would be afraid of would be judgment or condemnation. I mean, bear in mind, and people like us, we're not only talking about family and neighbours and that sort of thing, we're talking about viewers. Everybody, when you're in the public eye, everybody has their expectation of you. So if I shaved my head and came into this programme tomorrow, a lot of people would express their displeasure at what I have chosen to do, for instance.
Yeah, but then, Eamonn, so many people would be so thrilled that you shaved your head also, right? I, for one, would be delighted. I hope that I see it tomorrow.
So how did you cope, Glennon, with the fallout? You know, so you met Abby, who's now your wife, but you know, at that moment where you said, "I've got to be true to myself. I've fallen in love with this woman. I've now got to tell my husband. I have to tell my children, my family." You know, how did you deal with that and find the strength to do it?
I was scared to death, and I almost decided not to do it, not because of the world, but because of my children, because I was, you know, trained to believe that a good mother does not cause pain for her children. But one day I was watching my little girl get ready, and I thought, I am staying in this marriage for her, but would I want this marriage for her? And if I would not want this marriage for my little girl, then why am I modeling bad love and calling that good mothering?
But does she understand that whatever age she is, I don't know how old she is, 10, I don't know how old she is, but does she understand that? I mean, you're putting adult values onto a child, I suppose.
No, not at all. I was redefining what motherhood is, in that what I decided was that a good mother is not a martyr. A good mother is a model, that my daughter will recreate in her life the patterns that I show her.
Yeah. And do you think, Glennon, that women are more inclined to be the martyrs, to say, you know, I do everything for the children, the husband?
Disagree.
No, I'm just asking the question. Do you find that more women are inclined?
I think in life you are...
I wasn't asking you, I was asking
you are,
Glennon.
but that's what I'm saying. You are in life a people pleaser. You will please people, but within your relationship...
But then I think women are conditioned to do that.
But not to within the marriage, no.
Right. I do think that I have found that in every area, in work, in marriage, in parenthood, everywhere, women are given the ideal that the epitome of womanhood is to disappear. That's why the greatest compliment we can give women is she's so selfless. Okay? Which is so obnoxious that our goal would be to not have a self. But in parenthood, for sure, I think that we need to realize that if we show our kids that love means to disappear, that's what they will eventually do. We need to show them that real love means to fully emerge.
My point is that I don't think responsibility is the preserve of women.
No, I didn't say that. I just said I think women are a bit more conditioned because you're the nurturers.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think there are a lot of good men who do the right thing, who hold their families together, and who just aren't responsible. And maybe as a result of that, they don't do this thing, start pleasing themselves. So I think, I know you two see it from a different way, but I think, is your advice to everyone, male or female, start pleasing yourself, stop pleasing, and start living?
Yeah, and I think that what I see is that both of you are absolutely right. I think that everybody is trained to please, and women tend to please. The world tells us that we can please by being accommodating and pleasant, right, and martyrs. And the men are taught to please by being invulnerable and providers and conquerors. And the truth is that we are all just fully human, and we all have the same needs, and needs and characteristics are not gendered.
Wow.
And so what it means is that we all need to bring our full selves to the table and communicate with each other about what we really need as human beings, not as genders.
Thank you for coming to the table with us today. Glennon, I wish we had an hour to talk to you. Untamed is what you are and what you want other people to be. Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Ruth and Eamonn. This was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you. I've got a friend who's texted me, my friend Maurice, who just said, I'm reading this book right now and it's the best book I've ever read.
Ah, good, OK.